Okay, so let's start this review by going over the first three problems. And in these first three problems, what we want to do is we'd like to graph these lines. And what you should note before is negative 3/4, that's your m or your slope. And then 3 is your y-intercept. So because it's a y-intercept, I'm going to go to the y-intercept, which is up 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to plot that point. Because the slope is y over x, the y values is telling you to go down 1, 2, 3, and the x values are telling you to go over 4. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to plot that point right there. Now, since I have these 2 points, I'm just going to go through and draw a line straight through it. Let's look at the second one. Now, in this second one, they don't have for me a slope or a fraction. So the first thing I would do is I would go through here and I would write in a fraction. And you can change any number into a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. So for this problem right here, I'd go 3 over 1. And then again, I have a slope and a y-intercept. So I'd go here and I'd graph my slope, I'd graph my y-intercept, which would be down 1, 2. And then my slope tells me that what I want to have is 3 over 1. So I want to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And there's my new point, and I can draw a line through it. Let's look at the last one on this page. So, again, the first thing I would want to do is graph my y-intercept, which is down here at negative 2. So I'd go down 1, 2. And then my slope this time is 1/2. So I'd go up 1 and over 1, 2. Whoops. And that would be my point right there. I'm going to make my point just a little bit nicer. And then I would draw a line through it again. Okay? And again, we can see this kind of makes sense because these lines are positive, so they're going up. And this line is negative, so we can tell that it's going down. Try the next problem. Now when I look at this first problem, or any of these problems, I can tell something's wrong because I can't find a y-intercept or a slope because they are in what we call standard form. So what we need to do first is we need to convert them away into our slope-intercept form so we know what to do. The difference between standard form and slope-intercept form is in slope-intercept form, y is all by itself. So what I need to do is I need to get y all by itself, which means I need to add 4x to both sides. And this would give me y equals 4x plus 8, 2y, because I still have that 2 in front. And then I would need to divide everything by 2. And for this one, that would give me y equals, and I'm going to reduce this fraction. Since it's 4 over 2, that's the same as 2 over 1x. And then 8 divided by 2 would be 4. And then I'd go through here and I'd graph those points. So again, we'd start up here at 1, 2, 3, 4. I graph that point. And then this tells me to go up 1, 2, and over 1. And I'd graph that point right there. And then we just draw a line straight through it. Let's try this next one. Well, again, this isn't in slope-intercept form, so the first thing I would need to do is I would need to subtract 3x from both sides. We'd get y equals negative 3x plus 6. Well, here I don't really need to do anything except give this thing a fraction. So the fraction would be negative 3 over 1x. And then now I have my y-intercept to be 6. So I'm going to go up to here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd plot that point right there. And I don't know why I have that sign in between, but that's okay. And then we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And plot that point right there. And then we'd be able to see that line right there. Okay, let's look at the last one. Again, this last one isn't in slope-intercept form. So the first thing I would need to do is convert it. So I would add 2x to both sides. We would then, for this one, get that y is equal to, or 2y is equal to 2x plus 4. I would then divide everything by 2. I'd end up with y equals 1 over 1x plus 2. I would then graph that point. So I'd go up 1, 2. Then since my slope is 1 over 1, I'd go up 1 and over 1. Have that point right there. And I would graph through those points. Okay, try the next problem. Okay, so these problems are asking for the slope of the given line equation. So we can say it's asking for the slope of the given line equation. So some of these are really, really easy. I can see the slope of this line equation right here. So that one would be 2/3. I can see the slope of this one right there. So that'd be -1 over 3. This one, I can't see the slope because, again, it's in standard form. So because it's in standard form, we would need to convert it to slope-intercept form. To do that, I would have to move the 5x to the other side. I get 10y equals -5x plus 20. And then I would need to divide by 10. So my slope for this one would be this right here, which is -5 over 10, or you could reduce that to -1/2. For this other one, I would want to do the same thing. I'd want to get it to slope-intercept form so I knew what the slope was. We divide this one by -6. And again, for here, you'd get that this is equal, because this is a slope, you get -2 over 6, which you could reduce it to -1 over 3. Okay. So again, the big thing for these problems is, if it's in slope-intercept form, you obviously already know what the slope is. If it's not, you have to convert it to the right form so that you can use it. Okay, so we have to find the slope of this line. First thing, to find the slope of this line, you want to find 2 points, and we want to look right where it crosses. So it crosses right there. And then it looks like it crosses again right here, or a number of those points. I'm just going to use these two because that's the easiest spot for me to see where they cross. So we can see this slope. We first have to talk about its y's. So it goes down 1. And then we can talk about its x's. So it goes over 2. So that's the slope of that line. When I look at this one, I can see I have a point right there and a point right there. So then I would just have to count up. 1, 2, 3. So it goes up 3. And we count how much over it goes. So it goes up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2. So it'd be 3 over 2. Again, I knew this one was negative because you can tell that this line goes down. And I know this line is positive because it goes up. So that kind of helps me decide some things. Okay, so for this, what we're going to do is we're going to find the slope between 2 points. If you remember before how you find the slope between 2 points, is you just subtract the 2 y values on top and the 2 x values on bottom. This one would be 6 minus 10 over 2 minus 4. So again, x, y, x, y. That would be -4 over -2, which you could just say is 2 over 1. This one again we do the same, so that'd be 8 minus 2 over negative 3 minus 1. That would give you 6 over negative 4, which again would be the same thing as 3 over negative 2. If we did this one, that'd be negative 5 minus 1 over negative 1 minus 2, or negative 6 over negative 3, which is the same as 2 over 1. So whatever you want to write for those. Okay, so here's the first question. What is the slope and what does it mean? Well, we can find its slope by using these 2 points to figure that out. And it looks like its slope is, it goes up 100 and over 4. So we know its slope is 100 over 4. And if you think about what that means, it means for my gym membership, it costs me $100 every 4 months. So that's what it means. It costs me $100 every 4 months. You can see that this trend keeps continuing because in 8 months I owe them $100, and in 12 months I owe them $200. So my slope is 100 over 4, and every 4 months I owe them $100. And see what the x-intercept means, or the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is on the y-axis, so it'd be this point right here. And so when I look at that, it looks like my y-intercept is negative $100. Now you might go, what in the world does that mean? Well, that means my gym membership, I saved $100, which means like sometimes when you sign up, they'll say a certain amount of the months are free. So it probably means the first 4 months are free, or they don't necessarily pay me $100, but I don't have to pay $100. So I would say the first 4 months are free. When we look at the x-intercept would be right here. And that means on the 4th month I owe $0. So in the 4th month I owe $0. So that's a really good way of just thinking about all the different points. So y-intercept, it's negative $100, meaning the first 4 months are probably free. And then on the 4th month, the x-intercept confirms it because on the 4th month I owe them $0. Try another one. For this problem right here, they want me to write the line equation. So this is really easy. It's because I'd say y equals 1/2 x, because 1/2 is my slope, plus 5, because that's my y-intercept, and it's always slope and y-intercept. Same thing on this one. Y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 3, because again, that is my slope, and that is my y-intercept. Let's try another. Okay, so let's try the problems where we have to write in a line equation given some things. Well, the first thing you should know is a line equation is y equals mx plus b. So then knowing that, I know what m is. They told me what it is. It's 2. So we now have that y equals 2x plus b. Well then, I know what x and what y is because they gave us those, negative 3 and negative 2. So then instead of writing y and x down, I can write that I have negative 2 equals 2 times negative 3 plus b. I can then solve this, so 2 times negative 3 would give me negative 2 equals negative 6 plus b. And I could add 6 to both sides, and I could get that b is equal to 4. Well, now that I know that, I could write the whole line equation down, which is y equals 2x plus 4. And that would be my line equation for number 20. Or 19. Let's look at my line equation for 20. The same kind of thing would happen. So I'd say that y equals 2 over 3x plus b. Well then, I know an x and I know a y. So my y value would be 5. And my x value would be 3.